And whoever wants to go first, just share, your experience. How did it work for you? Where did you, what would you do differently? How did it work for you? And anybody can go first.
Well, I had issues because my camera is an older model, and I don't even remember the last time I touched that camera. So I had to
Me
call
neither.
Mr. Mr. Ross and I worked on it last night, and I was just shooting all black. Everything was coming out black. I don't know what I was doing. I could see it, but it wasn't coming out. So he walked me through different things, and then we finally got some pictures, some color. Um, but for me, I had to pull up a couple videos off of YouTube, and then he downloaded the manual. So I've been reading over that. So because I work, I can't do with so much, but hopefully
Right.
this weekend I can play with it a little more as I'm
Hmm.
reading to figure out how to really work and engage with it. Because I am so forward to looking for. Because today I took it to work to take some pictures, and my little this thing says pictures full. How is it full? I
Uh,
only took 25 pictures. Oh my God.
because they only give you like a starter pack,
Oh
right?
my gosh, I was so upset.
So, and remember I said the worst thing that happened, you get there and your
Yes.
memory is all gone and you're
Yes.
like, dang it, I can't take it. That's exactly what will happen when you go to the wedding, the baby
Yes.
shower, the best friend's party, whatever it is. And if you
Right.
didn't clear it out, you're gonna go there. But I will encourage you to go to Best Buy and buy you a
I,
bigger card.
I am. I
And
am.
Got
then look,
mine.
you see somebody Kathy got her. She's like, I got mine. Right. And I swear by them. That's why I got a terabyte and I just download onto there. And we'll talk about storage and all that stuff later, but it's very important. All right. So we have a lot to cover in another, what, 2 hours and a half, hour and a half. How much time we have? 6, 7, hour and a half, right? 2 hours and
Two
a half.
hours.
Two
Two
hours and a
hours.
half. Yeah, 2 hours. So I want to make sure I have room for your questions and stuff like that. I spent a little bit too much time on some things last time, but it's okay. I don't mind it. And as I said, if you want to stay after and go over stuff, we will do that. So I'm glad you have some photos now. It's not just shooting black screens and actually have color on some things. But
Yes.
we found out a lot about your camera. Um, Her camera is a older model that is modeled after a regular like the old uh, process cameras. And because of it, it has a whole bunch of functions that are really cool functions. It's just that you got to learn all those buttons and which button connects to the other button. And then we had to figure out like push this down and hold it first, and then we twist this and it'll work. I thought we was like Harry Potter and them. We try to come up with some stuff. We're like, woo, it was a lot, but we made it through,
We
and
got
that's
it. We got it
right.
through.
We got it there. Melissa, you had a couple of challenges there, but you figured it out. You got it through. How did things go for you?
Yes. So the only challenge that I had after I took the pictures, I went to my bag to get the cord. The cord doesn't work with my camera.
Oh no.
So that's partly because I bought the camera used, like off
Okay.
eBay, because I
Hmm.
mean, I didn't really need like a spanking new
No problem.
camera,
I
you
got mine
know?
at a
So last night at 8 o'clock, I went to Best Buy to get a memory card reader because
okay.
I was like, I'm not gonna be uploading these pictures. Like I can't upload them at all.
That's
So I
cool.
had to go get a memory card reader, and then I get home so late that it's
Hmm.
dark outside. So I took all my pictures at work.
I hear you. I hear you.
So I
Yeah.
just, took them there, and it wasn't that big of a deal. And I got some good pictures, and I found out some different things about my camera, that inside you can get more aperture than outside, which was super strange. I don't know. It just did it
Well, because
automatically.
it's darker inside, so they gave you like more options to open and open and open, right? Because you got to open up. Because what the
Yeah,
camera,
it was.
the camera sees more light than you could ever see with your eyes, because your eyes are regulating to make sure you don't go blind. But the camera is going to open up everything to just get as much light into that sensor as possible. So That's why it does that. So cool, yeah. I'm glad that things are working now. You got to, so I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing what you bring today. All right, Jasmine, how'd it go for you? I know, now Jasmine, you've been involved with photography for a while, right? You kind of really
Um, not a while, but I got my camera in it's been 3 months or so, and I
oh,
haven't really
okay.
put it down much. So I mean, I've watched a lot
You've
of
been doing
videos
a
and
lot of
seen,
you've been holding
yeah,
it and
yeah,
taking a lot of photos.
yeah,
Yeah.
before starting the class. And then I had also I've done like sessions with people. So I mean, I
Okay.
have like I've had some previous work, but
Cool.
really want to get the foundation down.
Gotcha.
I I didn't have a hard time with the exercise, but it was definitely very, very informative for me.
Yep.
And it was really interesting because I haven't done anything in manual yet because I need this class to be able to
Everybody want
do.
to point and shoot. Like I was telling
Yes.
Kathy, I say, yeah, you could point and shoot. It's perfect. Just put it on that
Yeah.
one little
I mean,
mode and go for it.
yeah, I had watched, like YouTube videos on composition. So like, I knew about the rule of thirds previously. So I definitely tried to like abide by that prior to this class, but
Hmm.
just adjusting it myself, I'm like, I can do this myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Outstanding.
I really enjoyed that exercise alone. I'm excited for the other things that I'm gonna learn throughout the rest of the course.
Yeah. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. There's professional photographers who use priority modes. So don't think that you're less of a photographer because you didn't use manual mode.
Mm-hmm.
Whole idea of why I teach manual mode and then all the other modes, which is what we're going to learn tonight, is because you need to know how to change it if the conditions changed and you're not getting what you want. Case in point, you're at the football game or soccer game, right? And every time you come back home, you look at your photos, the people are all blurred out because your aperture was on aperture priority, but your shutter speed wasn't right, right? And they're giving you the option. And so if you're not sure how to use those options, then you're going to still come up with stuff that you don't like. Too dark, different colors. Um, uh, Taya, I, I, I don't want to mess her name up. Did I say it right? Taya, Taya,
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Taya.
Yes, Taya. Just call
Okay.
me Ty. That's easier.
Okay, cool. Ty. Thank you. That's why I
Yeah.
said Lady T, because I didn't want to screw it up. I was like, Lady T. I love you too. Don't you let that go to your.
And that's my favorite singer
I
too.
bet you is. I bet if you don't know that song, that's Tina Marie.
Yes.
Rest in peace. So when you're able to go in there, like for her camera, it shoots in all different light modes. So she was in the house and it's like purple, orange, yellow, green, we get all these different colors, right? And we had to go through the different kind of lights in order to make sure that hers came out better. And yours probably has the same thing because I'm in a fluorescent light, right? It could be a tungsten light. If I'm in my studio, I have LED lights. It's a whole different light environment. And then, of course, as you were saying, Jasmine, Melissa, being outside, it gets dark early now. So it's hard to catch the sunsets, the blue hours, the golden hours, which we're going to talk about, and those really precious moments when the sun is gone. So you have to use, artificial light. And I was in a movie once and I was amazed because I was in Hollywood and uh, they made it daytime. The actual time that we filmed, I knew when I watched the part in the movie that was at night. It was definitely at night. But when you watch it in the movie, it looked like it was daytime because they use filters and lights and things of this nature to make that happen. So that's what you were able to do. All right. So Kathy, what's going on with you? How's everything?
Sorry. I'm learning. I went back and watched the whole class from Tuesday to
Mhm.
try to get a better feel of what some of these terms mean.
Okay.
Um, And so I'm retired. So I've spent the last 2 days doing photography.
Okay. Well,
So my husband says, "Oh, you're a real good photographer now." So
there you go.
I'm learning. I had a long way to go, but I had an issue because I was out during the day today, and I had the natural light, and that created a problem for me because everything was just white.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that and how you can identify it right off the bat if it's going to be too right off the bat, because we're going to talk about using your histogram. So if I got a few things to get to tonight. If we get to that, which I think we're going to end on lighting, and I think Jasmine, you wanted to know about lighting, right? So we'll probably be ending on lighting tonight. All right, well, here's the thing, Kathy, I am in town. My daughter lives here, and I don't live here anymore. I live in Baltimore, but I come down to see my granddaughter and my daughter and her family, and I'm in town today, tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday, and then next Thursday and Friday. So between those days, if you want to meet at Chick-fil-A or meet at, like I said, Panera Bread, we could meet either right before class or right after class, and go over some stuff independent, the one-on-one type stuff that you were talking about. I don't mind, setting that up for you. So just contact me, and let's put something together and get you going. Because
Okay.
you can start using those studios that are around and start making some money with your camera. Same thing for you, Jasmine. Peer space is real. I used it myself in Pennsylvania, and I swear by it, because if you get it's like a good Airbnb, and that's how you look for it. You look for it like a good Airbnb. You look for the comments, you look for the different stuff, and you can go to a studio and have a ball because they'll have all the stuff already there. And all you got to do is shoot, you know? All right.
Um,
So,
Oh, I just
mhm,
want to say one other thing. I found out that we were having the issues with how to get the f-stop changed. So on my camera, you actually have to hold down that cue. You have to
cue,
hold it
hmm
while you're using the
the
wheel
wheel. Yeah. Cue and the
at
wheel.
the same.
I think Melissa's yours is the same way, right? You hold the cue and then you do the wheel.
I just have to press the cue and it brings up
Oh,
the menu, and then I
Okay.
use
Then
the
you do it
wheel to
from the
like
menu.
move
Move
throughout
it.
the
Okay.
stuff.
All right, no problem. Both of yours is only 1 or 2 iterations away from hers. She's a T5, you're a T7, but they're all different. That's why I tell you at the beginning to kind of just like really get to know your camera, because there's so many little knobs and different things, and you read the back of there and you're like, oh my God, it looks like a mess back here, until you start noticing everything, and then you'll see, oh, this means this kind of light, oh, that little thing means this kind of balance, this right here means focus, this means this that. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
because
we're
when I
going
hit
over
that
basic.
cue, it brings up this
You was
whole
like
thing. I'm
woohoo,
like,
you was
what
like
is
yo.
this? Like, what?
Mm-hmm. And
I mean,
that's
you can
there's
change
subcategories
so
too.
many things. And I'm like, I'm just gonna stick to these three little, because if I put it in some mode, I'm gonna be taking, I mean, the pictures are gonna be disgusting because I'm gonna be like, I don't even know how I did that.
I'm in
Now I have
out
to go
mode.
to back and
Out
try to
mode.
figure out how to take it off. And I'm lost. It's like,
Y'all are funny.
no, thank you. I'll
All
just
right, so
stick to what I learned and move on
I'm gonna
because
stay right up in here with the letter dance move. I'm not doing all this other stuff, right?
no,
I'm just stay right
no.
up in here.
Because
All
that'll
right.
be my luck. I get it stuck in this mode and it'll never come out and I'll be taking stupid pictures forever.
All right, so let's go ahead and share your screen and share what you came up with last night or today or whatever you did. Whoever wants to go first. Everybody should go ahead and get their stuff prepared so you can be ready to go. And whoever says yes first, just go ahead and start sharing. I already enabled the share button, so you can click on that share button. It's the little green button down at the bottom. It'll say share screen, and then you'll get a number of menu screens to see. Make sure your whatever you're trying to share is already up, and because we'll be able to see your whole screen. So be careful for what you share. Like,
how
ooh,
So
wait, I
how
ain't supposed to do that.
how do you share? Because the cord that I thought goes to this camera, it's not going in.
Okay, it's not going in the camera.
Yeah, it's not going in the slot over here. So I'm
Well, is
assuming it's
that
not the right.
well, is it the right cord first?
That I don't know, but obviously if it's not going in, then it's not the right cord.
Okay, because you might, I mean, is it the right hold the button? Because there's multiple things. You have a way to bring information away from your camera, and then you have like to like charge your battery. Are you putting it, is it
No,
multiple
it's
slots?
well, the one that I thought you're supposed to put the
Oh yeah, that's it. You
but
take
guess
out,
what? It's broken. Somebody smushed it. It's all cracked all up, so I can't even use this.
see if it still works, because the SD card is in your camera.
Camera.
So you're gonna open it up, pull the SD card out, put it in there. It still might work even though it's cracked.
Okay.
And then you connect that to your computer, and everything that was on your camera is now on the SD card, and you'll be able to share it from there.
Okay.
Just find a slot that it should not be, it should go in easy, because there's two, you can flip it around one way or the other, and there's this little indentation. You want to make sure it aligns and just slide it in nice and easy. It should not be difficult to go in.
Okay.
And then you make sure the other part is connected to your camera. Okay, so somebody else can go ahead and go while
I'll
we're
go.
waiting. Okay, go for it, Kathy.
Okay, you said to have everything up first.
I think you should. That'll make it a lot quicker and easier for us to get through the sharing piece, because you won't have to take it down, bring it up, take it down, bring it up. If you just bring them all up first in your side, then share the screen, and then you just toggle, use
Okay, wait a minute.
your arrow to go forward and back. And what you're doing is you're explaining to us what you what you did.
I'm actually going to try to do it my way because I
Okay,
had
do
gone.
it your way.
I'm
I'm okay
So
with that. As long as
am
it
I
gets,
am I sharing? Can you see my
not
screen?
yet.
Okay, let me hit share screen and then hit share.
There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna
Boom.
go.
Okay.
I put them all right here.
Okay. So you just double click on it.
Now, how do I move all of your faces out the way?
Okay. So you
Oh,
can
on
go up to view options, or it's over on the right hand side at the top, it says view.
View.
And it says hide self view, hide participant.
Oh, hide names, hide video, hide floating. Is this hide
Yeah,
floating?
hide floating. Yeah, you can.
Meeting controls?
No, not the meeting controls. You need those, but just anything that says
Okay.
video or people.
Well, can you?
Or
I
speakers.
can't see the whole picture, but can you all see it?
No, we see only your thumbnails. That's why I was saying, like, bring it up, because you're gonna need to share the screen. When you share, it shows you multiple screens. There you go. So when you share,
screen sharing
pick the
has
one that has
the
photo in it.
Okay, so bring my photo up.
Make sure it's in front of you, and then share your screen. And then when you say share screen, it's going to give you options for which screen to share.
Okay.
It's going to say, look at the top. It should say basic, advanced.
So each of my pictures, I'm looking at them in my file. Do I click on the picture now?
Yes. Yeah, you need to make them larger.
So I'm going to have to click on them as I go along.
Once you click on one, you'll be able to click through all of them. There's a little arrow that you'll be able to hit and go from one to the next.
Now I see my picture, but you all, I don't see the Zoom part where to hit share.
Okay, so it's in front or behind.
My picture is in the front.
Yeah, your pictures that I was
So
taking over the
minimize
whole.
it.
No, just go down to the bottom of your screen and it should show up the
Oh,
menu.
Zoom.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, share.
there you go.
This is-
Yep,
Okay, it's still.
there you go. Perfect.
Oh, it
It's a
is?
park, right?
Yeah, it's a park. I still
Okay.
see you all, but as long as you
Yeah,
can see the
we can
pictures.
see the pictures.
Okay.
And when you go
So,
from one to the next just use your arrow and it'll go. But
well, the
explain what we're
problem
looking at.
that I can't use the arrow because you all, your
Okay.
faces are over there.
On the, like right in front of on the photo,
Yeah.
if you hover toward the edge of the photo, you should see a small arrow. If not, just go ahead and put, there you go.
Okay, I'll just do it that way then.
That's fine.
Okay. So the first one is, of course, you see it's the park and it's like natural light, and I kind of did it because of like the horizon, the spacing,
Okay.
the horizontal spacing. And I tried to do the full quadrant where you said to go from corner to corner.
Okay.
So and then let's see, on the second one, I did this one. It's actually this one and it's that one.
Okay.
And this is supposed to be like composition, where you kind of see everything in the front and it blurs out the back. Is that what composition is?
No, but I get it. That is F. That's your aperture, and is depth of field. Depth of field is when your main subject or one of your subjects is in focus and the other things are not. Sometimes you can
Okay.
have it in the middle, you can have it in the front, you can have it in the back.
Okay, so that's the depth of field and the aperture.
Mm-hmm.
And with this one and this one, you're supposed to get the feel that it's going up a hill. Do you kind of
Okay,
get
we get that. I do. But what
okay?
was your main thing? Were you
And it was
to
in
move
in different locations, like the
the
third
quadrant,
rule of,
rule of
yeah,
thirds?
quadrant,
Okay.
the quadrant, yeah, where
Hmm.
they were in different places.
Okay.
That's kind of
Got
what
it.
that's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these I just kind of just liked what I was seeing.
No
So
problem.
it's
That's beautiful.
it's like three of these. I saw this, I guess it's like a bird's nest. Look at
Hornet's
that.
nest.
I
Hornet's
mean,
nest.
is that a hornet's nest?
Hornet's nest.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I'm glad
I'm
I didn't
glad
get
you
too
didn't
close
try
to
it.
it. I was like, that's a weird looking bird's nest. Oh my goodness. Wait till I tell my husband this. Okay, but look,
Girl,
I used
you can't be out in the wilderness. No, know what's
I
going
see
on.
it. I was out there by myself too. I was out at White Plains at the golf range over there. You know where it is? Okay.
Exactly where that is.
But look, it was way up in a tree because I had my really
The
long
longer
lens.
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 Okay.
It's way up there, okay? Matter of
Okay.
fact, maybe you can kind of see it here. Oh no, that's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
close
pretty.
because I really zoomed in on it. Oh
Okay.
my goodness. Well, anyway, no hornets were flying out of it because I could have gotten away if they were. But
Mm-hmm.
but I like the I guess the depth of field,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
know.
because
And
you got all the branches in the back are,
I love this one.
yeah, very obscure. And then the front
Yeah.
is, yep. Mm-hmm.
And then I guess it's the same thing here. I kind of, those little round cones, what are those things called?
I don't know.
But
But
you can
they get stuck on your clothes. That's all I know.
but I liked it because you can see the texture of it. You know that they're sticky things,
Yes.
you know.
I see I see what's happening with your photography.
Is it good or
Texture.
bad?
No, you're taking photos, but what's capturing your attention is like the the texture of the different things, like the edges is rough, or like you talked about the hornet's nest and how it looked. It had all the depth,
No, the
all this
bee's
little.
nest.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm glad none of them hornets came out of it. But anyway, so this I did at home, and this is one of my favorite statues, and that's it too. But this is supposed to be kind of like a optical illusion.
Hmm.
Like you kind of, it looks like it's kind of floating, and
Yes.
it uses space and everything. So I thought that was a good one to take a picture of.
Yeah, I would practice with this one because you can practice shadows, lights, things of that nature with this one um, uh, object or subject. Now, is that your husband's face or no?
Oh no.
Okay.
He doesn't smoke cigars either.
Oh,
But
okay. Okay.
no, I found this years ago when I worked downtown, and I just thought it was really a neat. Oh, how did I do that?
Oh,
Okay, I
look it
clicked
up.
on two. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. You can click on both of them and bring up them together.
Yeah,
Okay, and
at the
then
top.
just one more, and you know
Hmm.
I like this one. First of all, you got to read it.
Why? What in the world is this? Every day, weekends and retire. What the world has that got to do with anything about photos? I don't understand.
No. So I put it here because it's a
Oh, you like
really
zebras? I see. I see like the black and white stripes.
no. It's a very small plaque, and I set it on my coffee table, and I zoomed in on it to bring it forward. And
Okay.
so that's why I took a picture of it actually, where you could see the base, but you could tell that was behind it.
Hmm.
Okay, right?
All right. So real cool stuff. What I like to do is critique afterwards. I would like your cohort to critique and give you feedback, and
Okay, just
then
one
I
thing.
will
I got
give
to say just
feedback.
one thing to my cohorts. Do not mention that hornet's nest, okay?
All right, your secret's safe with us. It's just gonna be on video. That's all.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, well, I'm probably not the
It's
only
all
one who
right.
thought that.
No, there's no problem. Okay, so feedback, everybody. Anybody, please give Kathy some feedback, and you could refer to whatever photo you saw.
Well,
Well,
no
I
big
thought
And
all
then
the photos were good.
yeah, unmute. Yeah.
Yeah, I started talking before I unmuted. But I maybe I didn't understand the assignment because mine aren't anything like this.
Go. Don't
So
compare.
I hope that
Yeah, don't compare. That's okay.
but I like
We
that she got the blurred behind it because I was trying to do that and I can't figure it out.
no problem.
So hopefully I can, but I definitely like the nest pictures. Like even the first one, that was really cool to be able to get like a picture of either nest, like the first one or the
Oh, those over there. Let
yeah.
me see.
I guess that's what that is. Maybe it's just a gathering of leaves. I
No,
don't,
Look at
I
all
think
I don't,
fancy showing
I
both
don't
of them
know.
at the same time. Oh, I got it. Okay.
Now
I
she's
got
a
it now.
pro.
I'm gonna learn
She's
a
a
lot.
pro. She's a pro now. It's like,
I'm gonna
Oh,
learn
and
a
showing the
lot.
pictures.
all right. Any other feedback from anybody else?
I like the
Um,
natural light that she took in. I especially do like the one that's going uphill because it
I don't know what to
it
think.
I'm looking at it and I can tell what the picture is telling me. It's just telling me a story.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell it's a trail that we're going uphill, but I also the one with the cigar. When you was talking about there's things that we can put on us to block out the shadows, I noticed that even though it's hanging on the wall, you can still see the shadow around it. So I don't
It's
know.
not hanging on the wall. Actually, it's sitting. It's on a pedestal.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't sure if she could have used something to alleviate the shadow off of that.
We're going to talk about that when lighting, and that's why I said I think this would be an interesting subject for her to practice on when
Okay.
it comes to that, because it's a number of different things that this is really good for. And yeah,
Okay, stop sharing.
even the angle that you're taking up, you know. So, all right. Anything else, anybody, before I give mine?
I just wanted to say that I also really liked the blurry stick background. I just really I think it looked really fascinating. The only thing I wanted to I think the composition on all the photos looked pretty good, honestly, from my opinion. The one that you said that you liked that was really zoomed in, and sorry if you hear my daughter in the background, but the one that's really zoomed in of the hornet's nest. The only thing with that one is it looks like it almost like for the rule of thirds could have been a little more to the left or a little more to the right. But that's I mean, I think otherwise I really liked the photos and I really liked the blurry background.
And so, Kathy, do you know why she said that, to the left or to the right?
I don't know exactly why, but I thought I was trying to do that, but I guess I didn't do
Yeah,
that too
pretty
well.
much most of
I
your
tried to,
things are in the middle. And
yeah.
so, and you didn't have your grid on, which is fine. But what you want to do, what it does is it gives a little bit more depth to your photo. It's not flat. And so
Mm,
when you have it to the left or to the right, and in this case, probably to the right would have been good because the branch is going out that way. And if you
mhm.
remember your last night or the night before when we talked about rule of thirds, we talked about also composition. If the person's going that way, give them somewhere to go.
Look,
You
yeah, that's
crowd them
true.
out, you crowd them into the frame. Just think
Mhm.
about if you was going to put that on a frame on a wall, where would it be representative of the frame, the end of the end of the wall, right? The end of the frame. That's all. And so that was one of my critiques also. And I don't really like the word critique, so I'm going to change it. Just feedback, right?
Yeah, I like
Feedback
feedback better.
is neutral. You either take it and you say thank you very much and you do something different, or you leave it alone. I showed you a photo that came from a photo gallery. It was a horse in the wilderness where the horse was right in the middle, the
Mm.
horizon line was in the middle, and they had the reflection of the water. That was what well a photographer would say terrible picture, right? But somebody really loved that photo and paid thousands of dollars for it.
Mm.
So feedback is feedback. Okay.
Okay.
I really see your eye and what you're looking for. And I think that as you go out there and you really like think about your subject matter, I would even go back and shoot that again. Now that I know what it is and I know where I can see how the sun and the light changes and all the kind of stuff. I'd like to see how does that look in a certain other
Go
kind
back
of
to
light.
that hornet's nest.
I would. You got to you're far enough away. You have a good a nice lens, and you didn't have to do anything spectacular to stay safe. So I want to say this though, you will break laws and rules as a photographer. I'm going to show you a gentleman who makes thousands of dollars. I met him, Mr. Nunez. He was at the every year in Alexandria. They have a fair, a street vending of artwork, and it's an art fair and art festival, and all it's all like artists, musical artist, and film and photo. And I met two people, Mr. Tiger, I'm going to share him, and I'm going to share Mr. Nunez. Those two guys, I met them personally at the fair. And Mr. Nunez, he's actually almost gotten arrested, beat down and beat up by gang members trying to get photos, right? So sometimes you might go across a line, you might step on some grass, you might be on the middle of the green while they're golfing, so you can catch the right photo. So just know that that happens as a photographer. You break rules to get the shot, right? All right, so go to your first one real quick, Kathy, and we're just gonna run through them real fast. Real cool here. All you got to do here is tell us where the subject matter is. Right now, everybody's in focus. Everything is in focus. I'm thinking that it's the park, and it's the park, but I don't know if it's the tree. I don't know if it's the
You
path.
know, actually, it's strange because it was, and I don't know if this would be considered a subject matter, but I took it because of the path.
The path. That's what I said. The last thing was the path. I could see that the path was the deal, like, but I don't know which one is, right? So you want to do some things to let us know what's important here, right? Because right now everything is important. So there may have been one or two things, and as Jasmine was saying, she want to improve her photography. In this shot, there's a couple of things that I might do. I might focus and use single focus, and we're going to talk about focus today, where I would focus more on what's happening in the path and let the park and all the edges just kind of blur out. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Okay. Next one. So just go to the next. All right. Again, this is crowded to the left. I think it still works because of the way that the leaf, you know, the nest is falling to the right, and it's a good use of the top quadrant. Next one. We already talked about that one. It's still over to the left. I think it could be over just a little bit more to the right, and that will really look, you know, a little bit more dynamic for the sun hitting those leaves on the backside where you see the nest falling to the left. But really good shot, and love the depth of field on this. I would definitely write that down, whatever the formula is for that. F-stop, aperture, shutter speed, ISO. Write them down, keep track. Now, if you can do, just right click on this photo. Like just right click on it. Or go up to those 3 dots and okay. So you should have file information. See where it says file info? Click on that. Down, right there. Right here, it opens up everything about your photo. This is how you can create menus for yourself. If you notice, it tells you, hey, it's an image, and it gives you some stuff. All right, it tells you it's taken by a Canon, 300 millimeter. Okay, wait, go back.
I can't see it. Oh, I was trying to move your pictures because I can't see the information back there. But
all right, so see if you can just minimize us. Like push the little minimize button where we are, or go to the view up at the top.
Can I move?
And
oh, I can move you all.
yeah,
I
you
moved
can
you.
move us out the way. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you see all that information. That's real cool stuff. You had a 75 millimeter camera. You had f-stop 5. You had it at 1/160. That's your shutter speed, and your ISO was what's that? 100.
100.
You see? So now you know the
Oh.
recipe to get that. If you wanted to crispy up those you know, you wanted those leaves to be crispier, so then now you know where to start. You go to 75, F5, and now you're like, hey, I think I can go up 1 stop or 2 stops and get an even better shot.
Okay, sorry, but how did I get to this info? You click on the image.
You can click on the image, or you can go on the 3 dots. You clicked on the image, and it said it gave you a menu.
File
and you go
info.
to file info.
Okay, that is
right.
good to know.
Yeah, because you can take a photo that you already took, go to the file info and say, okay, what was I doing when I took this photo? What was the lighting conditions? What was this and so that? And it gives you all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
It even said the source was you, personal, available
It was
offline.
me. And I have to mention too that I actually took hundreds of pictures, and I just tried to pick the ones I thought was the best, but I probably wasn't looking for the right things either.
It's not right or wrong. It's subjective, like art. All your photos is whatever you put. If you put this in the gallery, you let people make the decision. You don't make the decision. You just take the photo. All right.
Okay.
But what you're going to find, instead of shooting 100 of them to get one, you're going to be able to shoot 10 to 12 to get one. So now you break down your time and you save your space, because now you know what you're looking for. Everybody understand that? Okay. Yeah. All right. So other than that, we've already talked about everything else. So Kathy, thank you very much. I'm going to go move to Jasmine. Jasmine, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let me
All right. So if you can go ahead and share yours. Thank you so much, Kathy. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Are you guys able to see it? Do I just need to make it? Oh, okay. Let me see.
You can kind of do it like Kathy did, or you can, bring it up in one and then come back and then share.
Yeah, so I had it, no, that wasn't it. I had it pulled up already.
Okay, so it's
When I
it's
clicked
probably
desktop,
behind one of these screens. That's where when you get ready to share, you're gonna pick which screen to show.
yeah, but it's saying allow Zoom to share your screen, open system preferences, and then I do that, but it's not letting me. Oh, hold on. I think I figured it out.
Okay.
It's making me leave the meeting and rejoin. I
How
can
come?
even rejoin. Is that okay?
Why is it making you do that?
It's saying because I clicked to allow the sharing of my screen for my computer in Zoom. It's making me, since I updated that setting,
Oh, that
quit
setting.
and
Okay, so you
reopen.
got to
And when
go
I click,
back. Okay,
yeah, so it's
then
making me get out and come back in.
all right. So let's see. You want to go ahead and go out. And Melissa, are you ready? Or Ty, are you ready?
My thing,
You have
this
it.
is not working.
It's
Remember,
not
I told you
working.
it's cracked. It keeps
Okay,
telling
even
me
though it comes on, but it's nothing. It's not showing.
nothing's coming out. So I'm gonna
Okay.
have to buy one tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. All right.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead, Melissa.
Let's see here. I thought I was. I don't know how to make the. Yeah.
I can I should be able to pull mine up now if
Okay, you can.
that's easier.
Yeah, that's
Go
fine.
for
Okay.
it.
Sorry.
Okay. I'm also gonna look at my camera as I go through this. So I kept my ISO and my shutter speed at the same for all the photos that I'm gonna show. You guys can see it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for the first one, like I said, the only thing I changed was my aperture.
Yep.
For this first one, I had my shutter speed at 1/60. For my ISO, I had that at 640, and that's the same for all the photos. This
Okay.
one was at aperture 1.8 or f-stop 1.8.
Mm-hmm.
This next one was at 2.8, so another one on the low range.
Okay.
This one was 5.6
Mm-hmm.
aperture, and then 8, and then 16,
Okay.
and then 22. You can't even see
Can't
any
see it, right?
at
So
all.
go
Yeah.
go. If you was at 5.6, right? Go back to the 5.6.
Okay. Hold on. Was the third one.
Third one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you guys see that, right? This is what I was saying about you might think you don't have something, but you do. What would I change at 5.6 with an ISO at 640 and a shutter speed at 160? What would you recommend Jasmine change? Keeping her f-stop at the same 5.6 based on what we covered last time.
To raise the ISO.
Okay. One thing she could do right off the bat is go up one more higher number or lower number.
The higher number?
Yep, one more higher number. And then she's at 160 shutter speed.
Should probably raise that up a little bit more. Like in the
Faster
400.
or lower?
Lower.
Lower, right? Because what do you want to do? You want to open it longer. So you don't want that number to go up. You want that number to go down. You want it to open up and hold, now close, as opposed to open and close.
Close it. Okay.
Right.
Close,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
So
Yes.
shutter speed Remember, I showed you the triangle, the exposure triangle specifically for that. Thank you, Jasmine, for taking that moment. I just wanted to use that as a teaching moment.
Yeah, no,
continue.
I just want to make sure that I also understood the assignment correctly. Weren't we
Yeah, you
supposed
did.
to
I
leave
wanted you
it?
to play. I wanted you only to really go all the way up and down your f-stops.
Okay,
I
okay. I just
said to
wanted to make
leave
sure
the,
that I wasn't supposed to do something different because then
yeah,
I'd
pick the
want
middle
to.
ground for your ISO and pick the
Mm.
middle ground for your shutter. And now you can see what happened. She's at the store. Yeah, it's okay, Michelle. She went to get some stuff. She's at I know you want to see the baby. She's at Safeway, I think. Call her. Yeah, you just got your hair done. Okay, no problem. I'm in class. So vamos. Adios. You can listen. You can listen. Okay. So ISO, again, you got your shutter, and because of that, that lets you know. I asked you to leave those in the middle because I wanted you to see the changes that happen just with changing your f-stop. Because if you're inside and you're saying, oh man, why are my photos so dark? Well, first of all, what kind of light do you have? That might be the deal. Second thing is, oh, my ISO is really down middle. I need to pump that bad boy all the way up. Most people who shoot indoors shoot at the higher ISO for the light, and they don't worry too much about the
Shutter speed.
noise. The noise. Remember I showed you in the 100, 200, 300, 400, you get these little grainy little things that happens. They're little aberrations, okay? Did that make sense to Jasmine?
Yeah, it
All
did.
right, so you see what you could and could not do, and this is a
Mhm.
good this is a good object lesson for you because now you can see that if you're going to be shooting inside, exactly what little bit of changes you can make and automatically get a whole new a new world showing up under
I
there.
know. I know.
Now
I
this,
also have some outdoor ones I took
and
too.
what could happen to this one too, you could take this in post production and lighten it up, brighten it up, change some different things.
Yeah, I did think about putting it into Lightroom and like raising the exposure just to see what it would look like
Well, when we get to that,
after the
make sure you
fact,
do that.
but
Yeah. Yeah, do
yeah.
that.
Um, let me get to, okay, so this was the first one. This
This is the
one,
one outside, right?
yes, yeah. So
Okay.
this one, the ISO and shutter speed was the same. The aperture
Mm-hmm.
was 1.8. And then for this one, aperture was 2.8. And then this one was 5.6, which looked like a sweet spot to
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
And then 8, 16, and then
Mm-hmm.
22.
So how you see how she just made it go from day to night? Just by changing one thing. You can change three things, but you need to know how they all work together. That's why I had you do this exercise. So if you're outside and you're taking photos of your family and it's dark, you already know, wait a minute, how come this is dark? I need to bring that f-stop down. I got not enough light coming through. I need to open it longer so I can get more light in. Right? Right? So continue, Jasmine. That's actually a really nice photo right there.
Yeah, I just
I
took
would only
stuff from
brighten
my
it just a
house.
little.
Yeah, I wish that I would have gone on a nature walk. I probably would have ended up with something creative
20
too,
elk
but
going
yeah, I just
across.
took some decorations from inside. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, that was what I had
So
for
who
the
wants to tell me
ultimate.
on her first one when she first started, she said it was at 1.8. Could you go to that one?
Yeah.
What's happening here, everybody?
Too much light.
It's too much light. Which
What
means the
why?
shutter opened up too quickly.
Is
Is
it
that
too
it?
quickly?
Too
Shutter
slow.
No, it stayed open too long and
too
let more light
long. Exactly. You needed to go less, right?
in.
Or
Yes.
her ISO, she said she kept the ISO the same. So her ISO was at 640. Right? which means what she might do with her ISO just right off the bat.
Burn it down.
I'm going to tell you to always half it down. Half it down to start. That way you get like halfway there right off the bat. So half it down. So if she's at 640 and her beginning is at 200, she would hit somewhere in like 400, and then go from there and see what the difference is. And not change anything else. Keep the shutter speed the same. Keep the f-stop the same, the aperture the same. Always change only one variable at a time, so you can see where the measurement changes. If you change two variables, that's like 4 or 8 different changes at one time.
So
Everybody understand that?
when you're outside, it should be lower. If it's in
Outside,
it would be
ISO is
higher.
lower, yes, because
Okay.
there's more light.
All right.
Inside is higher because there's less
Less
light,
light.
and it's artificial light.
Gotcha.
Okay, continue, Jasmine. Jasmine's like, y'all, I didn't get to show. You just lessons, all kind of lessons with my stuff.
Well, one of the things that, and as I'm looking at it, well, I guess we can just move forward and I can ask my question after the feedback. That's
No problem.
fine.
Go for it. Yep. You can ask it either way. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, I think on like the composition, I put the bottom left, because I put the grids on my camera before taking these, and I put the bottom left on the pumpkin, but should I have like really backed up? Like, is this bad composition because it's not taken from further behind where this and the entire object is on the cross? If do you know what I'm
I got you.
asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's my answer. I don't think it's bad composition for whatever you're going to use it for. Now, what would I use this for? A greeting card.
Mm-hmm.
Because it will look good on a greeting card.
Mm-hmm.
You took it in portrait mode as opposed to landscape mode. I think if you took it in landscape mode, you would have probably seen the difference in that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
then
can
too,
see
you
that.
got the wall, you got the fence, you have the slats in the back going one way, so you have a lot of lines all over.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you'd have to look at. You have part of the chair, right? So if you was really think of like, okay, I want to really compose a shot, I might have moved the chair out the way.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably blur the background, have a lower f-stop, so I could focus really on just the pumpkin
Mm-hmm.
and the little flower arrangement, right?
Okay.
And yes, I would back out just a little bit more because it's kind of crowded. You see how it's crowding the edge
Yeah.
right there? It's a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah, I
crowded.
do.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps. But again,
Yeah, no, it
subjective.
definitely does. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
It
subjective.
like as I was taking it, it was like, okay, it looked like it was right there, but as I'm looking at them now, it looks very centered.
Yeah. And
So,
so well, no, it's not centered because the pumpkin is your main
well, yeah, that's what I put
subject.
on the
Yeah.
in the bottom left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If their pumpkin is your main source, that's okay that the can is in the middle because it's not the main thing. Right.
Yeah.
And I would actually go back and set this up, and I would go around the table. I would just take around it to see what else do I get. Always think about what's in front and what's behind. So when you look through your viewfinder, I don't have my camera today because I'm here. I meant to bring it with me, but I left it on my shelf. But when you look through your viewfinder, remember there's more information. There's more stuff happening. Always look around. Don't close your eyes where you can't see. Open your eyes and look before you close, to sharpen. I like a lot. It's a technique. It's not a positive or negative. Some people close one eye, some people don't. There's some people will tell you if you close your eyes, something wrong with you because you should open your eyes all the time. Other people say you always should close your eyes. So there's no like rule about that, right? But when you do, you open up your eye and look around, because you could catch people getting ready to walk into your frame. You can catch things getting ready to show up. What would have been cool? What if what's some things? A hummingbird would have been coming. You would have caught it. You'd be like, "Oh, hummingbird," because your eye was open. If you close it, you're only going to be into that one little space, as opposed to opening and see what else is going around. And you might
Mhm.
see what else is happening to compose your shot differently. And then, did you have those leaves on the table on purpose?
Oh,
See, I would have probably
no,
cleaned those out
I
the
should have,
way,
yeah, yeah,
right?
I
Yeah.
agree.
So that's part of composition, right?
Uh-huh.
You're composing a cool shot. So,
Yeah.
all right, did that answer your questions?
Yes, thank you for that.
All right, cool.
That was all I had.
That's it. Okay, okay, no
Yeah.
problem. All right, thank you very much. Any feedback for Jasmine from anybody else from the cohort? Observation? Encouragement? Some words of encouragement from my cohort, please.
Well, I liked how you were able to use both inside and outside the same thing to take the picture of. Because then you can kind of see like the difference of taking a picture of the flowers inside than the flowers outside.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I feel like if, I probably would have done that also if I had thought about it, but just because you can see like the difference in everything by using the same exact thing.
All right.
Yeah, the settings.
Cool beans. Anything else, anyone?
I just want to say I like the way she showed the difference in using, the different features, because I actually did that. That's why I said I took hundreds of pictures because I was trying to get the right picture. I didn't know that what we should have been doing is just, trying to, because I was adjusting the whole time. I spent half the day adjusting.
Well, you're learning. You're learning and learning. That's what happens, right? So it's all good. All right. Well, thank you, Jasmine. Great job. And so,
Thank you.
Melissa, are you ready now?
Yes.
All right. The floor is yours.
Here. Things up bigger. Come on. Make it. There we go.
Excuse me.
Sure.
Here it
Can you
comes.
see?
It's
now?
on the way. Yep. Truck.
Yes. Okay, so this as this is outside and I kept the shutter at 400 and the ISO at 640.
Okay.
And this first one is at 3.5 aperture. Then this is 8.
Okay.
And the next one is 13. This one is I believe it was 16.
Okay.
And then this, or no, 22.
26, 22. Okay.
22. And then this was at like a different angle of 22.
Mm-hmm.
And then back to 13 at the same angle, and 8 and 3.5.
All right.
And then when I went inside, I kept the shutter at 125 and the ISO at 6400. And this was at 4.5 and then 8 and 13. Well, my pictures are out of order.
Okay.
So this is like at the different part of the grid
Mhm.
at 4.5 and then 8. Oh, it's not letting me scroll. Okay, there we go. And then 13, 20, and that's it.
And you're in the lower third over there. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay. And what did you say your ISO was?
6400.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty high.
Yeah, like when I went inside, I took the first picture, and when I went to change the stuff, it went up so high, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was saying, like, it changed the whole what I could do.
Okay. And you'll find out more about your priorities as you go, because it sounds like what you had was an automatic ISO, like your camera made that decision, right? You said you
No,
push the
it
button and then it went up.
well, I kept it, I still had it at the outside one.
Oh, okay, I
Then
see.
it was really bad. So then
Okay,
when I went to
Went-
change it, that's when I saw that I could go up
go
that
up.
high.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. All right. So feedback, everyone, and words of encouragement.
Well, I just want to say that one thing I noticed on the truck is that by changing your numbers, you can actually kind of change the color of your subject, because the truck looks lighter in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and even though the lighting, it got, see, it looks green, like it looks like teal here, and
Mm-hmm.
And
it looks
then
and it looks green there. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying you can actually change the color of the subject if you don't choose the right lighting. And I mean, I don't
Yep.
know if that's
So is this like the picture we saw the other day with the, oh no, I'm sorry, y'all didn't watch that. I did. Sorry, never mind.
She don't watch 900 videos. She's like, wait a minute, is that the one the Harold had?
No, I watched this video the other day where they had a woman in a white wedding dress,
Mhm.
and they were saying how her skin just blended in with the
With
wedding
the
dress,
wedding
and
dress.
had to change the f-stop
F
on it.
stop. Mm-hmm.
And then they show the groom in a black tuxedo,
Mm-hmm.
where his face was really really pale because the
The
camera
contrast.
yeah, it was adjusting to his black suit. And
Mm-hmm.
then the next picture they showed, his face was like my complexion.
Mm-hmm.
He just got darker. The complexion was,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that's what's going on in these photos right now.
Yeah,
Because
it is.
what I okay.
And what has to happen, see, we haven't talked about light metering and figuring out if you got too much light, not enough light, that stuff. But that's definitely what you would do. Now, I would also caution to make sure that you're getting as close to the color as you really want to have, because sometimes you want stuff to be a different color, washed out or whatever on purpose. And then other times it's like, oh my gosh, I thought this was a green truck, and now I got a teal truck. And imagine if you was taking a photo for a marketing company and they're like, yo,
Mhm.
I can't use none of these photos because my trucks are not teal, my trucks are green. That's
right.
when you're going to go in and some of you will have the ability to change what's called the tone or the warmth, right? Because there's some colors that's in there. You just don't see them because they're not, it's not like, hey, turn up the green, turn up the red. But when you start messing around in there, you're going to be able to change it to make it more vivid. And when you do vivid, you get more vivid lights. It understands, oh, wait a minute, these are the colors that I should be looking for.
So
Because
I have a question.
hmm
It's not really about these pictures, but
it's
one of the
okay.
things that I kind of had a hard time with, there's kind of like a few things, but I the aperture, if I change the aperture, if I'm like taking pictures of like people,
hmm
sometimes like people's skin, it just looks, when I'm looking at my camera, it's too washed out.
hmm
That's really my main problem, because if it's
Yeah.
not underexposed, typically I can do something about that after. But if I just by adjusting my aperture, would that fix that problem?
All depends. Remember, you got 3 things you can change
Yeah.
that can affect that photo. You
Yeah.
might have to look at what's your ISO first and say, oh, I have too much overall light, right? Because the ISO is looking at overall light. Let me
Mhm.
turn that down. As soon as I turn that down, the rich other colors start popping out.
Mhm.
All right. Another thing that might happen is depending on what lens you're using, right? If you're using a regular 35mm lens versus a 50mm lens, you're going to get closer, more dense pixels. So the colors are going to be closer together. So therefore, it's going to be more rich, right? So there's a number of different things, Jasmine, that play into this. On the surface, it's those 3 main things: exposure triangle, right? Let me change my f-stop. And don't forget, when you have your f-stop change, you also have one extra exposure compensation. You saw that little button that you had to push sometime that had the plus minus. It was black and white. Some of you had to push that to move the dial and this and this stuff. But if you were just using that by itself, you just turn it one little click up, one little click down, and it goes by like 0.5% or a lower number percentage. I don't know if it's half, but instead of going one whole f-stop, it goes like a quarter f-stop. And that gives you that richness that you need. It's called exposure compensation. I'll show you that button and how it looks, but that's something that could also affect it, Jasmine.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested to see or
Like you're gonna
figure
be
out which
given an
button it is.
assignment. Yeah, over the weekend, you're gonna have an assignment, and it's gonna include that. Okay, babe, Brittany, could you bring me a glass of water or bottled water that's not in the fridge? My daughter just came back home. So okay, so that answer your question, Jess? Okay, cool. All right. So feedback, Melissa, that's all your photos? That was
Yes,
it,
that's
right?
it.
Okay.
Yep, that's all.
Feedback from Melissa. Anybody else?
I do have a question about what we learned the other day, Tuesday, when you said the space.
Mm-hmm.
So should she, like, looking at this photo now, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like part of the top of the truck is cut off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So should she have brought it
She should
back
have
more?
some negative space
Yes,
available
yes,
at the top.
yes,
And if you're talking about people, it's called headroom, right?
yes.
Because I'm here, I got all this space up there. Why I look like I'm way down in there. But if I'm up here, I'm looking like I'm crowding the top of the deal. So yes, when you think of composition, you got to look at all of the space around the subject.
Okay.
That truck is parked to move forward. So we give it some room to move forward, right? Which means I might just want to tweak just to the left, just a little bit, and give it a little bit more space to the left of the frame, right?
Okay.
I can keep that tire exactly where it's at, that back tire exactly where it's at, but move in just over just a little bit. And I also got to pay attention to sight lines, right? I have a fence line going this way. I have a tree coming out the middle of the truck, the top of the truck.
Yeah, at my work, it's not a very
No problem.
appealing place, so
Yeah, that's okay
I
because you
had
can get
to
rid of all of that.
if
You can
anyone
get rid of
is
that.
familiar with Capitol Heights, that's where I work.
Mhm.
So it's not a very appealing area. So I was
No
limited
problem.
on what I could take pictures
You
of.
made do with
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
had.
yeah. You make and do with what you got, but this things to be
Right,
aware
yeah.
of when you're taking a photo, right? You gotta look around your edges. You gotta look around like you have a person standing there, and then you find out that the tree limb is coming out of the back of their head, right? That kind of
Right.
stuff is where you take that second look, right? So these are all little things that can make this photo even, you know, better, improve, whatever. You
Okay.
have really nice shadows from the trees on there, right? So that's a lot of what I call character, right? So you know, based on where you're standing in reference to the front tire or actually the front bumper, right? And so just moving left to right will change the whole dynamic of that photo. I love the angle of this truck. I think it really it's almost like it's getting ready to talk. And I don't know if you ever seen cars, but all
Yes.
you gotta do is put some eyeballs on my man right here, and he's ready to go. He could be Mater's old friend, you know. That's my buddy, Mater.
Yeah, because I took them from the front first, but it was
Mhm.
like with the grill, it was just like too much.
Too flat, right?
Yeah, it was
And
just
there was
like
too many lines, right?
yeah, too much.
Yeah, that dynamic, you change that angle. That's what makes better photos. Angle. What you want to say to yourself is, what's not the natural thing that most people see? Like when you see a photo, most people see a mailbox square, right? So just bring it off to the edge, and now you see 2 dimensions of it. You know,
Okay.
that makes it more interesting. Doesn't make it better for anybody because somebody might not like it. That's okay. What it is doing is changing the dynamic of how people experience that. Like a shooting, you saw, um, okay, so there was a photo we saw where the angle was up or down. Those are really important things because you could shoot straight on, but that's not the most, like, that's just the basics what most people see. If I can get a chair and come up, or if I, like in this case, if I laid down on the ground and took this photo, what would change? How would that look?
Okay.
Right? What would change the dynamic? It would probably look big,
Yeah.
huge, So just think about those things when you're shooting. But overall, if you can go up to your indoor shots real quick, I just want to go to that. Now,
Yep.
this is a bell, right?
Yes.
All right. Is it have some writing on it or something? Because
Yes, it
I'm
does.
curious and I'm wondering,
It's the gossip bell.
okay, so maybe seeing a little bit of whatever it is on there might help me with the photo because I'm the observer and I'm like, hey, what is that? What is that?
Right.
But if I
Yeah.
had a little bit of it, I might like go, oh, okay. And you told me it's a gossip bell, so that's cool. Everybody gets a chance. It's kind of like the totem, right?
I
Yeah.
You
thought it
get the
was fingernail
floor.
polish.
You get the floor. She said she thought it was fingernail polish. See, look,
Yeah.
you see how everybody can see something different,
Yeah.
right? Now you were using rule of thirds. What would make rule of thirds work better for this photo, Melissa?
I'm not sure.
Okay, you have a quadrant over here on the right and you have a quadrant over the left. So I would say move to one of those quadrants. So not
Okay.
move the bell, you just shoot it where you can shoot where it's in one of those quadrants.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna encourage you to shoot this again and just play with the quadrants.
Okay.
Okay, and turn just a little bit more of the bell to get some of that information on the bell, so it kind of, it tells a
Right.
story. Remember
Yes.
earlier, Ty was saying it tells a story going up the picture itself going up the path. It tells a story. You want to tell a story with this too, right?
Okay.
Not just take the picture, just take the picture, but what's the story that coming from this? Why should I care, right? And then you notice, go on to 2 over to the, yep, right, the next one. Yeah, that's 2 over. Okay, you had it in the same spot, right?
Uh-huh.
So, you know, you see the reflection, and again, I think if you just move it to the left to the right, it would be really, really, it just would have changed the dynamic just a little bit. So overall, though, great job, excellent job in your learning. That's why we're here, to improve. And did you learn something in this exercise to help you improve in the future?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Okay, so we've seen everyone, and because Ty, you can't show us yours, so that's cool. All right, so we need to take a quick break. It's 7:15. We'll take a 5-minute break, and then we'll
Okay.
come back and get into it. All right.
All
So I'll
right.
see you at let's just go to 7:20. 6-minute break.
Okay.
7:20. Okay. All right. Man, my little thing is not working. I left my I have to keep it going. Keep it going. Pause it. Oh, I'm having Hey Brittany, do you have a mouse? I left my mouse. And it's really having some challenges with this pad, my keypad here. Trying to show my screen. Come. Anybody know anything about computers? My pad supposed to be like I should be able to move stuff around. Look at that. That's terrible. It's stuck on
I
one
hate the
spot.
pad.
Yeah, it's stuck in one spot. It won't move.
I like a mouse.
I know. I bought my little mouse thing and left my mouse sitting right there. I was like, oh no, I don't have my mouse.
I work remote during the week, and we work, well, they only give us a laptop, but we work out of like 6 different systems. And
Mm,
I also do not like the laptop mouse pad. I told my coworker one time that I would almost rather call out than work with a mouse with a dead battery or not work
yeah,
with a wireless mouse, because or even just a wired mouse, it doesn't even matter. But without a mouse, I can't function.
it's
Yeah.
crazy, right? Because I'm trying to move it right now. Brittany, did you have a mouse? Okay, it stopped working. I'm trying to get it to work. Give me a second, everyone. I'm going to see if my little clicker could work. It might help me try to move. I don't know why. I don't see any kind of like, it's stuck in one spot. I can't share my screen. Just a minute.
Sometimes you can use the arrows with like
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Use my arrow just to move it away from the way where it was so that I can share. And I don't know the shortcut. All right, give me a moment. Let's see if I can put this thing up here. Julio. Yeah. I apologize for the delay.
I guess
Well,
that's fun to a photo shooting for and not charging your battery, huh?
no, I guess that is like that. It's like leaving your whole battery because the mouse. I didn't expect my keypad not to work though. I don't know what's causing it to not work. I never had a problem with it. Let's see. Sheesh. Let's see. Trying to see if I push something, if I hit something and locked it or whatever. Nope. Come on, guys. All right. Well, oh shoot. So how can I get to? All right. So I want you to all right, wait a minute. It just moved. What did I do? All right. Let's go here, share the screen. All right, it's intermittent. I don't know where it's halfway working. Let's see, share. All right. Almost. Start from here. Let's see if I could do this. Do you see half of the screen, part of it or something?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Let's see. Slideshow. First slide. And let's see. Boom.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's almost working. Little by little. It's like, I don't know why it's doing that, but if I can get to this show presentation, I'll just stay there.
Is there a way where you can allow someone else to take control?
Not on Zoom. If I was on Teams, I could do it.
Oh,
And you would be able to just take control. But because the presentation is on my machine, so let me see. I'm trying to go up. Trying to go to where, if I could just show the whole screen, that'd be cool too. But this green box is in the way and I'm trying to get rid of it. Come on. One more minute here. Let's see if I can.
Technology, it's the advancement of the world.
No, I think it's something wrong with my key, my pad. It definitely has something wrong with the pad itself because there's no other reason why it should be. Like I took my headset off just to see if it'll work better with this. And I'm trying to. I almost had it. I needed one more thing for it to do. If I could just get it even to move.
we can see your slides.
You can't see the whole slide though, right?
Well, I can see like the slideshow.
You only see a part of it.
Yeah.
No, I can see the whole slide off to the left.
You can see
Yeah,
the
it's just
little tiny
small.
one. Yeah, you can see that.
Oh yeah, the little tiny one, but I can see it's a whole
I don't
slide.
know if can you see the whole slide?
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
on the left. The
Yeah, not
smaller
the
picture.
full. Yeah.
You can only see, okay, so when you say you can see the whole slide, you're talking about you see the thumbnail of the slide, right? You don't see the full slide, do you?
Yes, the thumbnail of the slide.
Yeah. So, because right now there's a green box and I'm trying to get the green box to move. And if I can just get that green box out the way, then I can use the other mode. Because I can move forward and back with these guys. But I need you to see the whole slide. The information I need.
You see the whole slide. I mean, I could read everything that's on that slide.
Can everybody read that?
It says like slide 8 says stop actions equals high shutter speeds. Amount
Yeah,
of light in
I,
can affect.
yeah,
I
that
can
that
read,
part you can read.
I can
Okay.
read the first few, but the point of view
I think
one,
when I get to
most
other
is-
parts, you're not going to be able to see it. That's what I'm saying. Like you can see half of the writing here. You can see half of the writing there. This is not good. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shut out, get out, come out. You might get knocked off, but just come back. Give like a 1 minute of time. I'm gonna shut down and come back. Okay. So
Okay.
Okay.
take another 7:31. Take another 5 minute break, and I should be okay. I'm gonna
Okay.
shut down and come back. I'm thinking it might be.
Okay. You want us just to go ahead and leave then, right?
You can leave or just hang out for 5 minutes. I'm gonna shut down, so everything should shut off. If not, that'll be cool too. I'm just hang out, do whatever you want to do for 5 minutes. Let me shut down and come back.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Shut down. Mm-hmm. Ah, poo, poo, poo. Trying to shut down my computer. So, oh, man, let me show. It's again what I'm getting about it. I got it. I just everybody.
I can see the whole thing.
Yeah, we can see the whole thing now. But I think Taya left.
Sit back in and see if we can still hear me. Because I don't need you to see me. I just need you to see the information so you can take good notes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay, so I'll give Jasmine. Are you still here?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So I gave 5 minutes, so I'm still gonna honor that. But we're back in business here. I was able to. I forgot. This is a new laptop. One of the things I forgot is its touchscreen, so I can actually move stuff from touchscreen. So it's like,
There
oh
you
wait,
go.
let me try that and see if it worked, and it worked. So cool deal.
Well, if you're still gonna give 5 minutes, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to start without her, and she left and came back. Hey, pretty girl. The little legs be coming. Hey, little pretty girl. Hey, pretty girl. You hanging with grandma? You want? Here's some clothes. How about these clothes? How about those clothes? How about these clothes? They're probably in there. Oh my gosh. I can't believe my daughter's room. Hi there. See, our nose is running. Hi, Doodoo. Yeah. You want to come by for a minute while I'm on break? Yeah. Here. What you doing? You want to do class? You want to tell people what to do? How to do their camera better? Hmm? Oh, this one right here. I use that less. Yeah. This one. Can I wipe your nose? Thank you. Did it? We can't. I got 1 more minute. That's a mute. That's a mute button. Say, Grandma, come get me. Grandpa got to get back to class. Hello? Hello? He was crying. Uh-oh. Yep. Okay, go to Grandma. Okay. Can I have my headset back? Thank you. Go to Grandma. Yeah. Go take a bath. Wash your sticky butt. Yeah. All right, everybody, we should be good. Let me admit her back in. So she's coming in. And we're back on track. Apologize for that. So see if I could go back to this. So we left off at our exercise. I call it a coffee cup because some people just use a coffee cup to do it. So just want to kind of give you some insights on your shutter. Again, you've already identified the triangle, which is very important, right? Is the recording on? Yes, it is recording. So Shutter Madness, just remember this, you want to stop the action, you got to take up the number, right? You want it to go fast. The higher the number, the faster the shutter. Higher the number, the faster the shutter. Okay. I want you to do an exercise where you're going to go and run water. Bath water, sink water, it doesn't matter what kind of water. Somebody did it in class that it really worked well. They took and put a plate in the sink, and then they ran the water in the sink so you could see the water hit the plate and bounce in the sink. It's really kind of cool because what I want you to do is I want you to take stop action and then I want you to go down. So in this case, you're going to set your ISO for indoors, which means it's going to be high, right? 6400 up there, higher numbers. You're going to set your f-stop somewhere between f5, f6, f8. Remember the chart. And then you're going to play with your shutter speed. And what I want you to do, I want you to go right now, run some water somewhere in your house and take about 5 photos. You're going to take one at the low range of your shutter speed, your mid range of your shutter speed, and your high range of your shutter speed. And I want you to come back and show us what you got, okay? Again, you can also control light. I talked about this when we was looking at some of your photos, right? Amount of light can affect how that shot looks. So again, quality of light makes a difference. If you're in natural light with shutter speed, you're gonna get some better stuff, right? If you're indoor, you're gonna have to control the lights so that you get some, better quality shots. And then remember, if you want to stop action, we're not doing it in this class, but there's people who use strobe lights and they'll have the strobe light shoot off in certain seconds, and then they'll set their shutter speed to go like 1/8 of a tenth of a second less than that happens. And what it does is it catches that light just in that short period of time, and it's pretty powerful. Less light action stops, more light lets blurriness happen, okay? When you also want something to blur on purpose, I think I mentioned in the beginning, if a helicopter is flying above, I want to see motion blur on the blades. I don't want to just stop the action and then it just looks like it's just sitting in the air. Or if a car is going by, I want it to go by and I want to catch it where I see some blur in parts of the wheels or maybe the back of the car, but it's not looking like it's just sitting stagnant. Okay. So if you were shooting here out on the beach, right? I want that dynamic shot where the waves come in and splash up against the rocks or whatever it may be, and I catch it in the air and I can see the droplets, etc. All right. Well, I'm doing that at a higher speed. In this case, 160 over 1/160 of a second. However, if I really wanted to kind of turn that whole beach into a nice misty kind of thing, or I want the waterfall to come down and be a mist, I want the shutter open longer. And in this case, a 4-second exposure. I don't know what your exposure are, your shutter speed exposure is, but some of you may have some really long ones because if you want to get light trails at night, you've seen those photos where it's a bunch of red lights because it's just taking all the red lights as they move up and down the freeway, and it just looks like a lot of red or white or people moving, but you can't see the people. You just see a bunch of blurry, bodies. That's what we've done. What they've done is they left the shutter open longer to get that dynamic shot. So if you want blur, open it longer. You want to shut it down, stop it, then open it less, right? Quicker. All right. And again, it lets in less light. The sweet spot is somewhere around 5.6, 4.0, or 8. And you have already witnessed that when you saw Jasmine's shots. You see the difference that just those 2 f-stops made when she was indoors. Okay. So that's going to be your assignment in a moment. I'm going to send you away in a second. I want to give you a couple more information. And then what questions do you have about shutter speed? All right. And I sent you a copy of the exposure triangle so you can always kind of use that as a guide. Not a Bible or anything, but it gives you the guide that you get close to what you need. Jasmine, you said you I saw that you had unmuted. You had a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering if, so I know that the aperture, the ISO, and the shutter speed, those can all affect the light showing in an image. How do you know how do you know which one of those you should adjust? I mean, I guess it would depend on what you're wanting out of the image, would be what you
100%.
want to
You
change
just
to
answered
get
your
what
question.
to, but
Based on what you want it to do. Okay, remember, if it's low depth of field and you want that one thing to stay totally in focus, then you already know f-stops have to be low, right? Because it's going to be low depth of field, so everything else blurs out in the background. So if you were shooting and you wanted low depth of field and you wanted to catch motion blur, right? That means you're going to have a low f-stop and a long shutter speed. So if you was to turn on the water faucet and let the water run out or whatever, if you have the little sprinkly deal, because I have one where I could sprinkle it or I can make it a stream, I would sprinkle it. That way I could see the water, independent water drops. And then I would turn that water into a nice cascade of, it'll look like mist coming out of the faucet.
Yeah, stop. What's it
All right.
doing?
So I want you to take a chance on yourself with that and see if you can come up with some kind of cool shot with that. That answer your question, Jasmine?
yeah, thank you.
All right. And again, how do you get it? You take more shots so that when you gotta go out and shoot, let's say the family says, hey, I wanna do business with you, Jasmine, then you wanna go ahead and have already experienced that. So in your practice shot, set that kind of stuff up. You know that little kids are never still, never still. So if you're taking a family photo, you got to practice like what kind of things could get them to slow down the most, but you're going to shoot on a high shutter speed because you want to stop action. And your job is to tell the parent to just keep looking forward. And your job is to catch that little one as soon as they turn their face towards you. Boom, and you catch them. right? But if you had it on the wrong shutter speed, guess what? You're gonna have parents,
Blurry.
everybody's cool, and the little kid is all blurred up,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we want to take advantage of that. All right. Any questions? Any other questions on the shutter information? All right. Uh, some people wanted to know this, so I added it into this class that they want to know, how do you get that dynamic like movement, right? Well, you set your shutter speed, and then again, you got to use manual mode for this. But um, once you do that, you can move the move the lens. You change you're gonna have your lens move at the same time that you're taking the photo. So you just kind of shoot, you know, and you can get this kind of real dynamic, looks like Star Wars kind of thing going on. All right. But your camera should be set to a shutter priority or a manual mode. In this case, it's manual mode, right? With your shutter between 115 and 160, depending on, again, the subject. And then you may need to shoot test shots. Always shoot test shots, ladies. Always shoot test shots. You don't want to go into a situation where it's you trying to get it for the first time and you haven't tested it out. If you're trying to get blur, like you're at the I don't know, the marathon, and you want to, the people are running, you want to catch some blur on their feet or what have you, you really want to test this out before you because you're gonna wind up taking a lot of shots. This is similar to your grid that I sent you. It says the same thing. It talks about the same thing. This is exposure triangle, but it shows it in a different light, right? Notice that you see, if you want brighter shots, you see that you're going to the lower number, right? On the shutter speed. Why are you going to the lower number?
So let's in more light.
Right. It opens the shutter longer and thus lets in more light. The shutter is open. Remember, it's a slice of pizza, right? If I had 16 slices, that's faster. If I had a whole pie, that's slower, right? Open and shut. And then, of course, aperture also allows for brightness to happen. And we know that if we want it to be brighter, we need to open the window, open the aperture, open it up longer, open it up more. So we're going to also have those numbers higher, right? And then ISO, we play with that in between because we can have it anywhere from 100 to whatever your range is. In this case, 6400. That's just general, but there are some that go even higher than that. Okay. And you can buy special lenses that allow you to go even further than that, just like you can buy lenses to let your f-stop go way, way, way down. Okay. Any questions? Again, shutter speed is what we're practicing right now. Okay. Now, I want to share something in part of composition is also perspective. Perspective is where you are in reference to the actual lens, right? So there's a thing called force perspective. Sometimes it's just perspective, wherever you are in the building, wherever you are, you're shooting from wherever you are. Let's think of you being in the stands at a game, and they didn't let you get on the field. But if you can get a field pass, you can get better shots because now you're on the field with the players, right? Same thing here. Force perspective, right? Is you're creating these places that you're going to shoot from, and it creates optical illusions. So here's a couple of opposites that look pretty cool, right? This guy is standing there and a cup is coming down over his head. Well, we know that cup is not that big, but because of the perspective and where we put the cup, we were able to create this illusion of a cup coming down over the person. Another thing is, we know that sunflower is not huge, but what we did is we got real close, low depth of field, and we took the photo right in the face of the sunflower. and it automatically created this beautiful, like full frame photo. All right. Right here, we took a toy and we put it in the foreground. And then we had the people in the background and made it in a way look like Godzilla is coming after the people. Okay. It's just a little toy. But what I had somebody do is their son had a motorcycle and their grandson had a toy motorcycle. She parked the toy motorcycle on the on the cement in front of her house. And because she parked the toy a certain way, it looked like it was sitting right next to the real motorcycle. It was phenomenal. Um, it was really, really cool. So, you know, you're going to practice this as well. So shutter speed is one thing you're going to practice. Water movement is another thing you're going to have, and perspective. Okay, you're going to keep those all three in mind as you move forward. Okay, this is a really cool one. Person looks like they're kissing the Sphinx, right? Sphinx is huge. I've been there. It's amazing. And you can see how small the people are by the little guy that's on the top of the wall in the background. But it looks like she's the same size as the Sphinx. Perspective. All they did was they had her stand there, and then you move your camera where your lens lines up, and it makes it look like it's in the same space. Right here, little girl looks like she's eating her sister. uh, Real kind of cool, right?
That's
It's like
cool.
Land of the Giants, right? Land of the Giants is an old movie back in the day where it looked like everybody, what's her name? Lily Tomlin. She did a movie like this where everything was huge and she was a little girl and she was a big giant rocking chair and all that stuff. All they did was they created perspectives with the camera. There's a movie about Temple Grandin, Temple Grandin by Taylor Dane. And Temple Grandin walks into this room from this little tiny door. It's just perspective because they put the camera in a certain spot and it's a regular sized door, but it looks like a tiny door because of how they have the camera. And then she walks up into the room and now she looks like a giant in this little room. Well, it's really perspective. Okay. These are real cool things. This is another one. Looks like the shoes are balloons. But all they did was turn it upside down, right? Think about what's unnatural that will get people's attention in a situation like this. That looks kind of cool. It's like, yo, what's happening here, right? And it looks like they're floating in the air when they're really, still being affected by gravity. All right, so this is what Ty was talking about earlier: white space and negative space. All right. Again, an area that surrounds the subject. That's making it really simple. Headroom, I talked about that. Negative space, not having enough space. If I was taking a photo here, right, and this was where I'm looking this way, I'm looking almost right into the frame, as opposed to giving me some space that now I'm looking and I got a little bit of lookout space. Okay. So you want to keep that in perspective. All right. Again, photos that are cluttered, busy, too much going on. Nobody knows who's the subject, what's the story, right? You want to get away from that. You want to make sure you don't have that happening. And then we're going to talk about power focus coming back. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes. What I'd like you to do is go away from here right now. You're going to shoot water. Keep in mind perspective, rule of thirds, and you're going to use your shutter speed and you're going to move your shutter speed up and down. Find your sweet spot for your f-stop, which I gave you an idea around f6, f8, right around in there, 4.5. If you have it, keep your ISO up because you're inside. You need high ISO. And so use a saucer or something where the water bounces if you just put the stomper on there or whatever you need to do. And you could use your bathroom. You could use whatever you decide, kitchen, bathroom. Some people use kitchen sink, some people use outdoor hoses. It's up to you. All right, go ahead and go shoot that. And then you're going to come back and share. And then we're going to close up on the power of focus. Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
I just have one really quick one for my
Mm-hmm.
I went all the way down. I scrolled all the way down on my shutter to
Mm-hmm.
get to like the lowest one to see what it is, and it says bulb. What does that mean?
Okay, bulb. That's gonna be. There is a. I've seen this before. It's a bulb light. It's like all you have is like a light bulb. Like you're in
Mm,
a room where I don't know if you ever seen it, where you have this little bulb light, and that's all the light you have. So what it's saying is, it's gonna find all the light that it can in that dark space with that little bulb light.
okay, I understand. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. And sometimes you can get a real good shot if you have multiple bulbs, but it's like that bulb only
Mhm.
gives out less than, I forget what it is, like 100K kilowatts or something like that. It's a low
Mhm.
kilowatt bulb. That's all it is. It's
Okay.
saying it's low light, but it's not no light. Okay.
Okay. I
All
see.
right. Okay. See you back here in 10 minutes. Will I be able to stop this? I'm going to pause. Where's
I oh, okay. I think I have something. What happened? Search. Okay.
hello? Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Oh, okay. So I was talking to nobody. I said, okay, welcome back, everybody. The recording's on. So who would like to go first to share what they came up with? We're going to use the same process that we just used where you connect your stuff up to the computer. I know, Ty, you can't do it right now because what's going on with your were you able to get some good shots though?
Nope, they're coming out black again. So I don't know what I did. I'm like, yeah,
Okay.
everything
So
came
there's a
out black.
button. Remember that happened yesterday.
And that's what I was trying to, I was like, what did I do?
What did you do?
Oh,
You got to figure out what are you doing to turn it, like hit it, and
yeah,
it goes back to reset or something. So
right.
I know we
Are we
talked
meeting
about
tomorrow? We still
possibly.
meeting tomorrow?
Okay, so you want to do that?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm
So
joining.
okay, all right, that's fine. Um,
You said
uh,
Panera's? I can do that
I'm
tomorrow
I'm looking at Panera in La Plata.
later.
Is that good for you?
Yes, yes.
All right, it takes me about 15, 20 minutes to get there. I get off
Okay,
here at 4. I get off work at 4 o'clock, so I can be there like 4:30
okay.
or after. It doesn't have to be right at 4:30 because traffic on 301 is terrible.
Yeah.
So, what time you guys want to?
Well, should we meet separately or together? I
I
mean,
think
because
you
I
can
know.
meet together if you're just trying to learn about how to use your camera. And then you talked about actually doing some coaching one-on-one. We could talk about that,
Okay.
independently. I mean, I offer that to everybody, but you can, decide what you want to do with that.
I can probably be there by 4:30 quarter up because I get off at 3.
Let's do 5. Is that fine? Would
That's
that be
fine.
better?
That'd
Five
be fine.
o'clock? All right.
Okay.
5 o'clock is perfect. That way I'm out of here. My daughter's home. Brittany, you're gonna get back by 5, right? For like 4:30, something like that. All right, because I'm making an appointment. All right, yeah. So
5 o'clock.
yeah, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. Panera Bread. Anybody can come. but definitely want to see you there, and we're going to
I'm gonna
physically
be there.
look at, yeah, we're going to physically go over what we need
Okay.
to go over and see what we can do, and bring a little pad or something so you can take notes on what the steps are to get your camera.
I
Oh,
got it
there you
right.
go. You got your book. Okay,
Yes.
cool. All right. So who's going to go first? Jasmine, Melissa, Kathy?
I'll
wanna
show
share?
mine. It was a crash course here. So
What do you mean?
I can show you what I have. Um,
Okay.
okay, so do I a share screen
The
or
same thing that you did earlier. Share, just, bring
share
your photos
screen?
up, share the screen, and then should be.
Okay, tell me if you see anything. You see something?
Not yet. You got to do whatever you did last time.
Oh,
Same process. So we can see
okay,
what you got.
okay.
If you guys don't show what your work is, it's like, I don't know if you're improving. I don't know if you're learning. I don't know anything. And the
So
whole idea is to get, you want to get this foundation down so
bring it
that
up
later
for
on, when you got something you want to do, you know how to do it.
okay, I'm gonna try to do it. I can see the picture. I don't know why. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my Zoom and bring up that picture. Oh my goodness. I think I need a course on just how to
How to
share.
use Zoom.
Yeah.
Well,
You can't see my picture?
not yet, because you got to share the screen. Once you
Okay.
once you bring it up, you got to tell the computer what screen to share.
Okay.
That's why you
What
want to
made
bring
it
it up.
easier for me,
Can
Kathy,
you
is
There you
see?
go.
yeah,
Perfect.
there you go.
Okay.
So what was
I
hard
made the
about that,
screen
Kathy?
big first, my picture, the whole screen first, then I shared. That made it easier for
Yeah,
me.
it
'Cause
makes
I
So
it
was having
easier,
trouble too.
okay, so put your picture up first and then hit the
and
share.
then
I
hit
thought
the
I did
share.
that.
Hmm.
Okay, can you see something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we see that you have water
It's,
in the sink.
I thought it was supposed to be moving.
It is moving.
Okay, did I do it right or did I mess up again like I
What
did?
did you think that you was doing it's not a video.
No, I didn't do a video. I thought you said that it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
show that the
Okay.
water. I took the plate off because I couldn't see it that good with the plate hitting the
Oh,
water.
okay. Well, yeah, you
But this is
probably
the
have to
best
use
one. That's the
different
best
plate.
shot I have.
All right. So this is exactly what I want you to be able to see. It should look like ice or mist. Those are
Oh,
the two things. You're gonna go like right here. You see each independent droplet dancing off the plate.
oh yeah, I
You
can
don't
kind of
really,
see it up there a little
yeah,
bit.
you see it in the yeah. And so the goal is to see how you can stop action and then how you could make it move, right?
Okay,
And
I
in
didn't
this
do it
case
though.
right here, there was nothing to stop the water from connecting, but
Okay,
you could definitely
I
see the
you
dynamic of the water.
yeah. Let's see someone else's because it takes me a while to get things. That's why I said it took all day to even take pictures. So
Hmm.
let me see.
But do
But
you know what you were doing on this right here? Because I need you to know what you were
well,
doing,
yeah. I mean, it was the shutter. I was constantly changing the shutter speed.
right?
That's what
To
I
do
and then
what?
I thought it was like to get the movement, so you can kind of get a feel of the water flowing.
Yes. So the plate was just to give you a way to make the water bounce and move around. Similar to what happened in this case, you have the water going directly into the sink on
Well, it's supposed to
and
be bouncing off of the sink. It's bouncing,
yeah,
but you
that's
can't
better
see
because you had it bouncing off, so you could see more dynamic there. The other photo, you have it going directly down into um the drain, so you can't see a lot of the dynamic of the water. But in this picture, in this photo, what I see is it's like ice, and that's what I wanted you to be able to do.
it.
It
Okay.
it should you should be able to change the texture of the water to make it look like either ice or independent droplets and mist.
Yeah, I'll
So if
work
you
on
had it
that.
on a
I'll work on
longer,
that.
hmm?
I'm gonna work more on it because
Okay,
I'm not.
no problem.
I
The
like
friend, the person I was telling you, Shelly, that's what she did. One of the things that really intrigued her was how could she make that water look more like a mist, and that's what got
Yeah,
her into her whole photography world. Hmm.
I like the
yeah.
bubbles in that one
Yeah.
and like the
Oh yeah, over there.
bottom and the right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that looks cool.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Mm.
All right, cool. So thank you very much for doing the exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Again, depth of field is important. That's f-stop, right? Shutter speed is important because you're stopping action or you're going to give the impression of the action moving, right? Some blur. And in this case, you did both. So excellent. All right, who wants to go next?
I can go next.
All right, thank you, Jasmine.
Okay. This one, you'll also be able to tell that I was like going through and changing my settings as I was taking these.
Hmm.
Um, but this one, it looks like it's out of order, so I can't even, hold on, let me find it to try and say what my settings were. This one was at 5 seconds.
Oh, wow, that's a long time. Cool.
Yeah, well, the first one I tried was like 30 seconds, and I ended up turning my camera off and turning it back
Oh,
on.
because it was taking so
Because
long.
yes, and the screen went like completely like black, and it
Hmm.
making no noise, nothing.
Yeah,
So yeah, that was a really long time. I didn't experiment much with those higher numbers.
yeah, you need to have really good lighting to set that up.
Yeah, yeah, and indoors I do not have that. So
Okay.
yeah, so that one was 5 seconds.
I mean, you
This
have a
one,
lot of seconds that is open. Okay.
yeah.
And your
This
ISO was still at what, 6400 or?
no, well, I was kind of adjusting the ISO with almost all the pictures.
Oh, okay. So you
This
adjusted
one
it.
was one of like the brighter ones, but I have some better.
Okay. Okay.
So there's this one. This one was at 1/160.
Hmm.
And this one kind of looks like you can't really see it very well, but it looks kind of misty
Yeah, almost like milk,
a little bit. Yeah, but the plate doesn't really help that it's white. If I had a different colored plate, I think it would have looked a little
more
more.
dynamic. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because you got white on white as opposed to
Yeah, that's
contrast.
yeah, and some of them are too bright and yeah, like
Hmm.
that one.
Okay, what you could see what the goal was, show the difference of how that water could be stopped in action and look like ice, or get it to where it's flowing smooth. It looks like more of a misty type of deal. So
I
good job.
definitely want to go to or find like a local
Thank you.
waterfall or something like
Oh
that
yeah.
and
Hmm.
try this again somewhere
Some
nice.
people go down to Solomon Island area.
Yeah, and I'm in
There's
St. Leonard, so that for me is like a 10-minute drive. So maybe I'll do
okay.
that this weekend.
All right. And then two, there's a couple of little small little rivers where they have these little short hills like this big. But if
Mhm.
you get down and change your perspective, it almost looks like a waterfall.
Okay. I'll have to
Yeah.
check.
You could even do it in your backyard. You take water, just send it off the table and off the edge.
I think you might be muted.
I can't hear you.
My little mute button came up.
I can
I
hear
could
you.
see the rule of thirds, and I could see that you changed from the ice to the all milky, misty water. So that's what I wanted to see. Awesome. All right, cool. All right, Melissa.
All right. Let's see. Let me fix this one. And this one.
Do, 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 do.
Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. So my lighting is terrible in my kitchen, so it's
Mhm.
like was hard for me to keep it.
What was your ISO set at?
So
6400?
this one this is the first one. I had it at the 6400, and then oh no. Then I took the second one when I moved the shutter speed, and it didn't turn out very good. So then I turned it up.
Okay. And you had your f-stop what, at 7, 8?
5.6.
Okay, so you probably wanted to have your f-stop up just a little bit more, only
Yeah.
because it's so dark. But
Yeah, so
I can
this is
still
probably the
see,
best one
yeah,
here.
you can still see it looks like ice, right?
Yeah,
It
I
looks like
turned it,
frozen water.
I had my ISO up to 16,000
Wow.
because
So
it
this
was like
I would have changed my f-stop,
not the ISO.
right? Because
Okay.
I mean I would have kept it up high, which is cool, but I also would have gave it more option to open up that aperture, let more light in, because it's still kind of dark. But I can still see that you hit the ball out the park by freezing the water to ice. And
Yeah,
that's
this
what I wanted
one
to
looks
see. I want
more.
to see where it looks like misty or flowy versus ice. And you did both of those. So you have successfully completed this activity.
All right.
All right. So any questions about this exercise? All right. Again, these are all foundational things so that you can do better in the future. You're going to get ready to do priority modes. And when you do priority modes, you're going to see that you only have to change 1 or 2 things versus everything. But you need to know what they are so that when you start doing it, you can take better photos. Okay. All right. So let me go back and share my screen and talk about this real quick. You saw this happening in your frame when you just press a little bit, you see these little dots or these little indicators inside your viewfinder or on your lens. So when you see that, it looks similar to this. And it's going to have like different dots will brighten up or lighten up based on what you have it set for your mode. You can have continual focus, meaning no matter where you point your camera, as soon as you get ready to shoot, your camera automatically updates for that. You can have single focus that you get onto one spot, it singly takes that one spot and that's it. That's why it goes and you hear a little beep beep beep, and then as soon as you push the shutter, it takes the photo, right? Sometimes when you have to press, you making sure it sets first before you press it all the way down, because that will keep you from getting a blurry photo because of focus versus blurry photo because of shutter speed. All right. And so these are the areas that you'll see. You'll see AF, which is single focus, single point, right? It's an area focus on auto. You also will see dynamic, which means it'll pick different spots. You will choose those different spots based on the availability of these little dots. All those little dots are telling you is where the camera is making decisions about focusing for that photo. That's all it is doing. It's saying, hey, only focus on this little spot. Focus on this whole area. Focus on everything in the picture. You're telling the camera what to do when it comes to focus. That's it. Because if you don't, then you lose or you may lose in sharpness. Okay. When you have a focus error, that means it's less sharp. So you want to keep the sharpness by making sure that you set the focus. Some of you have autofocus, and all you got to do is set it to auto, and it will make the decisions for you. 99% of the time when I shoot, it's in autofocus. Unless I'm shooting macro. That means very close, like bugs, hummingbirds, maybe I'm shooting, plant life with a little bee in it or something like that. That's when I'm gonna do manual focus, because I'm gonna manipulate right at the moment of me taking that photo, whether they're coming out with the, putting the sack, putting putting the stuff in their sacks to make the honey or whatever it may be. Okay. But you want sharp, and you definitely want focus. Again, going back to sensor size, the more pixels you have, right? I talked about that in the beginning. The more pixels you have, that means you have more information on that sensor, which means your sharpness is better. The larger space you give for that information, the sharper you will have your photo. Okay. All right. And so here's the magic, and this is ending up where we're going to be closing off for tonight. So we already did everything under manual mode. That's why I wanted you to learn how to manipulate your camera. You have to take more photos, and not thousands of photos just to get one. What I mean by taking more photos is practice using your settings. F-stop, I'm going to set this. Shutter speed, I'm going to set that. ISO, I'm going to set that. And I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing inside and outside. Okay. And we did that on manual mode. All of you have a program mode or an auto mode. Some of it will be a A, some of it will be a P, but it's going to be auto, where it's set up. Ty, you had that little A plus the little box. It's a special little box. That's your auto mode. It sets and does everything. So how does this all work? Well, program mode, the camera chooses everything. It chooses aperture, shutter speed. This is basically point and shoot. So if you didn't want to learn anything about, how to take better pictures and how it works and all that stuff, just put it on program mode, and it's just like your cell phone, point and shoot, right? Until you go into your pro settings on your cell phone, you only get what you get. So that's what mode you get. You could have a cheap camera or an expensive camera, doesn't matter. When you put it on program mode, that's what you're going to get. Now, I showed you that you also have these presets, sport. In this one, you see 5 presets, right? You see sport, you see portrait, you see night, you see long depth of field, and then you see macro, short depth of field. That's what those mean, okay? Basically, again, if you shoot in program mode, what you're going to do this weekend, you're going to take the same photo of the same subject in program mode. Then you're going to go to the next mode, which is shutter priority. This is really, really important for anyone who wants to, take like nature shots and birds and things of this nature, okay? In shutter priority mode, you manually set the camera shutter speed. You control that. The camera will decide how much light goes in and what your ISO. It's going to pick the aperture for you. This is really cool because you can get some really cool shots where it's just on shutter speed mode, shutter priority mode. And it's identified with a T and a V or S, right? That means the mode is intended to be used when motion needs to be frozen or intentionally blurred. So if you're at a baseball game, a football game, a car race, go down to the drag race there in Budds Creek, and that's where I would practice this, because those cars take off real fast, and what you want to do is like catch them. Now, of course, if you're shooting anything moving, you can do what's called pan shot. That means you're going to shoot and move the camera at the same time, right? They're moving that way, so you move that way. But you shoot, and you're going to have it on continuous where you're taking a shot multiple times. But you can do that in what's called shutter priority. Over the weekend, before we get back together on Tuesday, you're going to be practicing. I'm asking you to take at least 3 shots using each one of these modes. 3 shot in manual, 3 shots in shutter priority, 3 shots in aperture priority. That's the AV or the A. Okay, in this mode, again, you set the aperture, the camera does the rest. All right, shutter priority, who's the priority? You set the shutter. Aperture priority, you set the aperture. Program mode, the camera does it everything. Okay. This gives you control. It allows you to do really cool stuff like shooting your dog or your cat. You know, a lot of people is their dog because dogs are moving around a lot more than cats tend to. So it's usually the dogs or the kids. Like if I was shooting the kids out there, I'm gonna put it in aperture mode and then let the camera pick the speed, right? So these are all cool things, but this is already programmed into your camera. Remember, if you want small depth of field or short depth of field, where that one thing is isolated and everything else is out of focus, you want a small f-stop. If you want everything in focus and you don't care, you want the whole thing, everything from here, foreground to the background, then you do large depth of field, okay? Large number. All right. Again, these modes are already built in and you're going to be using them as we move forward. So I think we covered them all and that's it for tonight. So what I need you to do for your assignment takes into account everything we've already talked about today, yesterday, Tuesday as well. So next Tuesday when we meet, you should be having a number of photos, 3 in each mode. So that's 3 in manual mode, 3 in program auto mode, 3 in shutter priority mode, and 3 in aperture mode. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12, right? Minimum. While you taking those photos, think about perspective. We saw that where it's forced perspective or perspective. So come up with something cool and that you can do. Also, we talked about rule of thirds. Pay attention to your rule of thirds, your composition, how you compose a shot. Everything is layered on top of each other. All of what you've covered in the last 48 hours. Any questions?
I just have one last question. What's the difference between program mode and auto mode? Because it seems like they're
It's
kind of the
pretty
same, but they're
much,
two different. Like they're two
yeah, it's
different
pretty
dialing.
much the same. It's like you have what's called full auto, and in full auto, there's no, like, you can't make any changes. Your camera does everything.
Mm-hmm.
In program, you can make a change on your ISO.
Okay, I got it.
And but again, your camera is going to make the decision for everything else.
Okay, yeah,
And you'll see.
it's looking like for me, for my program mode, I can, well, when I turn my dial, it's changing the
Everything.
aperture and shutter
It
speed.
should change whatever, because if you
Okay.
make a move, then it's going to do that. It's going to say, "Oh, you're doing this, I'm going to do this." It's making
It's
all those decisions,
automatically adjusting the rest of the
adjusting to
settings.
whatever else you need. Yes. If you set the
Okay,
f-stop here, it's going to do all the other stuff.
and
If you set
auto.
the shutter speed there, it's going to do all the other stuff. Okay.
Okay, I see. That makes
Okay.
sense. Thank you.
But in auto mode, you're just putting it on there, and I don't care what you're doing, it's just going to figure everything out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Without you changing anything.
Okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
I just want to make sure I got this right. So use one subject, the same picture, same, and just do it in different modes, the manual, the AV, the TV, and the P.
Okay, let me say that differently. I think that when you shoot in these modes, pick a subject and stick with that subject. It doesn't have to be the same exact photo, but if
Oh,
you're
okay.
doing like outdoors, do outdoors. If you're doing indoors, do indoors. If you're doing people, do people. If you're doing cars, do make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
So not the same exact photo, but
okay.
that would be boring.
Yeah, it
So
would be.
with the aperture, when you said you can, that would be good for pets because dogs. I got a dog. She's under
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah. They run around and stuff. So
right.
you want
So
you
with
you know
so
you
with
said
that, I can get the blurred with her. Well, with that
you sh-
as well.
you should be able to.
Okay.
Again, uh, depending on what you set it to,
Okay.
will make the difference, right? Because on shutter priority, you are deciding that.
Mhm.
And then the aperture, it's going to figure out how much light you need and all that stuff. If you're inside,
Okay.
outside, whatever.
All right then.
Um, I would practice that shot with your dog on manual mode just to get in the neighborhood of what you need for your shutter speed,
Okay.
depending on how rambunctious your dog is, how far they wag their tail, all that other
Right.
stuff. Because some dogs are like, "Hey, what's up? How y'all doing? Hey, can I get some vittles?"
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
dogs
That's
be like, "Yo, yo, yo, what you gonna do? What we do?" Right? So you got to
okay.
make sure you make the adjustment for that. All right. Any
Okay.
other questions? All right. So we'll text and I'll see you tomorrow at 5
5 o'clock
in the Plata at
later.
the anybody could
Panera.
come. It's open at Panera in La Plata. Panera in La Plata. And but my priority is going to be working with you and your camera. And Kathy, if you show up, I'll work with you on your camera and we'll go from there. Sounds
Okay.
cool?
Yes. Thank you
All
so
right. And
much.
we'll probably need about an hour.
That's fine.
All
It's
right.
Friday. I'm
Little
good at it.
fact, the Panera
Okay.
in La Plata was my first job.
Was it?
Yeah, it sure was.
Hey, I go there a
Sure
lot.
was.
So when I'm in town, I like going there. It's one of my favorite places. I sit right in that back room at the round
I
table.
wish I could still have a job like that and make good money. It was I mean, it was fun while I was there. I enjoyed it for being, still in high school. It was fun. So,
Okay. Well, have a good night, everyone. Thank you
You
very much for
too.
participating,
thank you.
for
Thank
giving it
you.
a shot, giving the old 1-2, as they say. And
All right.
you're only going to get better if you take more shots. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You.
All
All
right.
right.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
good night.
you.
I'm probably not gonna come tomorrow, okay?
No problem. I'm gonna
Okay,
be there.
okay.
I'll be there. So whoever shows up, shows up. And
I'll
if
be
you're
there
not
because
gonna
I need
show
help.
up, just let
No,
me
because
know.
I think you need to probably spend more time with Ty because she's having issues with her camera, so I
Well,
don't
we
want
went
to take.
over a lot of stuff for her camera. I think it's just the hands-on that we got to do, but I'm okay with that too.
Okay,
I'm all right with that. Yeah,
okay,
because originally that's the plan.
right.
But I said I'd make myself available to whoever shows up. Mhm.
All
Okay,
right.
no
But I'll see
problem.
you tomorrow then. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a
Okay,
good
have a good
night.
Have
weekend.
a good night.
Yes. Have a good night.